Yes, this is us, floating in shark-infested waters while trying to make a video about saving money. And you're probably wondering, how did we end up in this situation? Friends, welcome to the Maldives, one of the most desired and expensive beach destinations of the whole world.
You've probably seen the world-famous water villas all over the internet. But guess what? The prices of those start from 500 and go up to tens of thousands.
I don't have $500 to spare.
Yeah, me neither.
And probably you don't want to spend $500 a night on an accommodation either.
So this is why for this video we are gonna take a totally different route.
A budget route, which means that instead of the 500, we're gonna try to survive Maldives on a mere budget of $50 a day per person. Can we do it?
Or is it impossible?
Let's find out. Our adventure, just like for most people who visit this country, started in a capital city, Male. Male itself truly feels like a capital, with high buildings and many expensive coffee shops. Oh, and I know we started this video already here in the capital Male, but if you're coming from the airport or the connected twin city Hulu Male, then the cheapest way to get around is with a bus. You can use international cards to buy a ticket. It's 10 local rupias, so like $0.7. But there was a problem. Our goal is to survive the next 3 days on a budget of $50 per day per person. And even the cheapest accommodation here was about $70 a night. So there was no other way than to quickly leave this place. From our previous hotel, they told us that the only way to reach our desired destination was with a speedboat that costs $25 per person. But that wasn't completely true. If you want to travel on a budget here in Maldives, then this place behind us will be your big friend. It's a terminal of public ferries. And that's the place where you see tourists with big backpacks, just like us, not with fancy bag and suitcases.
That was a really good comment.
Turns out the public ferry to Maafushi goes at 3 o'clock, 6 days a week. So Friday is a day off. And it costs?
It's $2 about $2 a piece.
2 tickets for $3, so $1.50 per person. And now we wait. While waiting for the ferry, I decided to do some math and realized that if we're going to stay within our budget, then for the next 3 days, either one of us will have $150 to spend, meaning our combined budget was $300, minus of course the $3 we already spent. And the ferry has arrived. The ride ahead of us took about 90 minutes and was surprisingly comfortable. In this short time, we passed about 10 islands, half of which were resorts full of those darn water villas. And if you're wondering whether or not you heard envy in my voice, then no, it wasn't envy, but more like fear, since I really didn't know what kind of accommodation would our budget allow. Luckily, I didn't have too much time to worry about this. Well, and welcome to Maafushi. Probably the most popular budget island in the whole Maldives. As soon as you get away from the capital Male, then the roads turn to sand and it just gives the whole place like different and much more pleasant atmosphere. It actually feels like you're on an island.
You actually are on an island. It's not lying.
Yeah, as you see from our smiling faces, we were quite happy with our chosen island. But more of this place later. And now the first mission is go ahead and find our accommodation. Turns out our hotel sent us a guy, so you can see how much baggage usually people have. We just have 2 bags.
More luggage.
Well, having a person help us with our bags felt like luxury. And after a short check-in, we had ourselves a room. So you need to promise me right away that you're not gonna laugh. For the first time in my life, I decided I'm gonna pay extra because it was like $4 extra or $5 extra to get the sea view on a home, like a really good sea view. Come and check this out. Yeah guys, not even from the roof you can't see the sea from here. But anyways, it doesn't matter because the room itself, it's nice. It has aircon, it has a nice double giant king size humongous bed, a fridge, water, coffee maker, a closet. All of this, like a proper room, cost us about $40 a day. For 3 nights, the bill added up to $120, but the day was far from over. Next up, we headed to town to celebrate our arrival, Maldivian style. Don't worry, Maldivian style does not mean that I steal someone's garden chairs. To good life. But it actually refers to celebrating on a beach with some fruity drinks. Oh yeah, and 2 of those cost us $11. After the beach, we paid a visit to a local tour company, where we bought 2 tickets to a tour the following day, and these cost us $100 total. Then we visited a local restaurant, where 2 fish steaks and a bottle of water resulted in a bill of $21. And finally, we ended the night watching the sunset, which luckily was free. Pretty nice, eh?
Pretty nice.
Yet I'll be truthful, I couldn't enjoy the sunset as much as I would have wanted because we had already spent around 85% of our budget on the first day. Things really were not looking great, and I wasn't sure if Liisu was gonna send me fishing if we ran out of money by the end of the challenge and I couldn't feed the family. Second day started early. It is 6:15 in the morning. We packed our things in a rush and had a quick breakfast that, by the way, was included with our $40 room. Then we set off towards the port. I really can't say that I was too confident at that time. I don't think I mentioned it before, but I'm actually quite nervous about the tour today. There's a reason why I'm afraid of open ocean, and well, today we're gonna face this reason dead on. We were given snorkeling gear by our tour company, and few minutes later the boat engine started. You would be expecting seagulls, right? But we got crows on the back. On low tide, hundreds of such sandbanks appear from the ocean. Just made it to our first stop, which is a beautiful sandbank in the middle of the ocean. I know, for some, such pictures might feel like a cliche, because almost every tourist comes back from Maldives with those shots. Yet still, they are cliche for a reason, and I think they look bloody amazing. While on our way to the next stop, I figured out one of life's mysteries, the reason why vampires wear their colors up like this. I'm quite sure it's because they're just as afraid of the sun as I am. I think we spotted manta rays. Yeah, it really is a mesmerizing feeling, seeing those magnificent creatures effortlessly flying through the ocean. But mantas were not the only rays we saw on this tour. Just minutes later, we were brought on a local island called Fulidu. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you? Where stingrays wanted to make friends with Liisu.
They're very soft! Hello, friends!
It's just incredible how rich and beautiful the ocean is. Schools of fish, stingrays, just chilling, hanging. Wow. Even after all of this, our $50 tour still wasn't over. And the thing that we still needed to do kept me quite nervous.
Is this the Sharky Point? No?
Yes, our tour was going to end with a bang, a swim in shark-infested waters. Luckily for us, those here are nurse sharks, and they don't see humans as prey. Yet when provoked, they still have a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth that can cut through flesh with ease. And if anyone's wondering what are the rules of swimming with the sharks, then it's pretty much the same as in a nightclub. You can approach, you can watch, but no touching. We spent a good 30 minutes in the water, swimming with sharks. And it's a thing I will surely never forget. Okay, that was amazing and bizarre at the same time. Like a tornado of sharks. And you're in there and you're swimming with them. You're facing your fears and at the same time it's so beautiful. And I know that in some ways it's not ethical to feed the wildlife, but at the same time I feel that the fact that so many tourists come here to see it, to do it, brings in so much money to the protection of all of this.
Also, I hope it brings less hate to the sharks, to make people understand what kind of animals they are and to respect them more.
After feeding the sharks, the crew also fed us with some rice and tuna. And by late afternoon, we were back on land. Thank you.
Welcome.
That was amazing. Amazing.
Glad you enjoyed.
It was so amazing. Such a great value for money. Like I would not have believed that $50 can get you this in Maldives.
Yeah, this is the best $50 I've ever spent.
Instead of more pricey fruity drinks, we decided to go with some soft drinks instead.
Am I gonna be the new advertising face of Australian drinks?
Now I needed to see it so we can see how the money goes down, like cha-ching! The second afternoon, we spent doing things that wouldn't break our budget. First we enjoyed the beach. Then discovered the island a bit, both on ground level and also with a drone in the air. We were droning over the island and there's this beautiful light blue spot. And at the end of it there's some kind of weird dot. I think tomorrow we're gonna go and snorkel and find out what's over there. And finally ran into our friends that we had met during our tour and asked them if they thought Maldives was an expensive place to be.
Well, it's a lot cheaper than expected, you know, like from outside they make it seem like it can be crazy expensive. Instead, if you come here, especially on a low season and you talk directly to the agency, you will see that, you know, it can get a lot cheaper. Like today we got like maybe a lifetime experience for really less than 100 euros. So,
And it was for 2 people for 100. Crazy.
yeah, really crazy. Like we all agree on this. You just need to come and see by yourself.
Once we headed back home to get ready for dinner, we got a good surprise. Oh, and by the way, we were asked to dinner by our hotel, which is super nice. They're having Maldivian barbecue and they were like, you have to come. So we're gonna go and have Maldivian barbecue soon. The barbecue was incredible. There was fish in many shapes and forms, different kinds of meat, but even more important, we got to be part of a truly local experience. And well, we tried to fit in as well as we could, which meant eating with our hands and also tasting parts of fish that we normally would not.
We're getting a lesson how to eat the fish head.
I think it was a really wonderful way to get to know the local culture. And the only thing that still bothered us was that we didn't know how expensive the barbecue was. And we thought that we would find it out when we were about to do the checkout from our room.
Definitely the best Maldivian meal we have had so far. It was incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
The third day once again started with a delicious breakfast. Then we decided to do all the things we had not had time before. Well, let's just say that the weather was not on our side.
You know, there's also a positive side to the rain. It's the first time in Maldives when I get to be on a beach and not worry about sunscreen.
Then, when the sky cleared, we rented a paddleboard for $10 an hour. Yeah, the wind made our journey a bit more adventurous, yet still we managed to visit a neighboring small island, where at first I was reminded why boats are tied to the docks with ropes, and where secondly we could spend some quality time in total solitude.
Is it because you're here with me?
We even had time to go discovering. Once again, the windy weather and strong current made the journey a bit harder, but once there, we saw that those black spots are actually metal frames that have pieces of coral zip-tied onto them. It's literally coral planted by humans. The place was called Renee's Coral Garden, and it's a good reminder that if we give nature the time and space it needs, then it will regenerate in incredible manner. And well, since I couldn't catch any fish myself, we ended the day in a nice restaurant called Navio.
Pineapple rice, chef salad, and prawns. And again, all of this plus a big water cost us about $11 $11 per person.
It was truly delicious, but at this moment, it really didn't seem likely that we could stay in the budget, as we still had not paid for the last night's barbecue. With thoughts of failure on our mind, we went to bed on our last night on Maafushi. The last morning started as usual. We had our delicious breakfast, yet when we tried to ask about the barbecue, the hotel manager simply smiled and told us that of course the barbecue was free, and it was his pleasure to introduce a small piece of his culture to us.
Well, friends, that was our budget challenge here from the Maafushi island. And I'll be honest with you, when we started this thing 3 days ago, in the first evening, I didn't believe that we would be standing here and happy.
Yeah, I agree. It was hard in the beginning, but then we proved that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars and you can still have the same amazing experiences with just a little bit less money.
I totally agree. For me, the biggest take from this is also that you can do Maldives on a budget, and you can do it well, because 90% of the experiences we had are the same you would have in a high 5-star resort. The sea is the same, the views are the same, the tours are the same, people are the same, even the food is probably quite similar, but just we did it 10 times cheaper. And if we look up there, I think we have still few dollars left, so there's just enough to buy us 2 more ferry tickets away from this island. And we will see you in a little bit less than a week next Thursday. Bye guys.